views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub from Empowerment Radio as he addresses some of the most prevailing challenges in our day-to-day lives. Find out how you can use the power of your mind to overcome self-sabotaging patterns and build a solid foundation of confidence and self-respect. Learn cutting-edge tools and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. This is the time to empower yourself. Now, here's your host, Dr. Friedemann Schaub.
Welcome to Empowerment Radio, and Happy New Year, and Happy Wednesday. It has been a while since the last Empowerment Radio Show, so I'm very excited to being back and look forward to another hour of talking about some of those challenges that many of us have now, especially at the beginning of the year. Well, today the topic is about happiness. How to make this year happier for us. How to feel more alive. How to be more fully engaged. Why? Well, that was my New Year's resolution. You know, I believe, and I'm always a strong proponent, that reality doesn't really exist. It's very relative. Now, I was with my family in Florida during the holidays, and I was in the mornings always walking the dog of my sister-in-law. And one morning I came across a street where I saw a poor little duck sitting on the side of the road. And I didn't get too close because I was worried that the dog's going to chase this duck into the road and potentially going to get run over. And every time a car came by, the duck just turned away. And for me, it was pretty obvious that it tried to cross the street, but it couldn't. So I left it alone and walked away and hoped that eventually it would find the time or the space in between traffic to just hobble across the road. Now, 4 hours later, I came back for another walk, and the duck was still there. Well, by then, I thought, okay, action needs to be taken, because we cannot let this poor little bird sit by the side of the road all day long, and maybe there are some little ducklings that are waiting for their mother, or, you make up those stories. So I went back to the house, and I called my wife, Danielle, and my niece, and said, let's go onto a rescue mission and help this poor little duckling or this little duck, who was a grown duck, to get across the road. So we approached it carefully. We came, slowly closer. I told them, don't rush because you don't want to frighten it. And let's just, go in a measured way. And then we stop traffic, and then we're going to lead it across the road. And when we were about 30 feet away, my niece started laughing and said, it's made out of plastic. And I couldn't believe it, because when I looked at it, it was obviously a plastic duck that was just able to turn with the wind. And that's why I turned away from the traffic. Of course, this was the great laughing stock of the whole holiday. And as gifts, I received ducks and little pet animals that I can rescue. And, I had a good time with it. But it showed me that, again, reality is just what we are creating. And the funny thing was about it, that when I went again with a dog and passed deliberately by this plastic duck, I was hoping that the dog could be also fooled, like me. But the dog totally ignored it. The dog knew exactly that this was out of plastic because it used all its senses to notice that this is not an animal. This is just a little creature made out of chemicals. So what it reminded me of was that 2016 was, for me, a relatively short year, maybe the shortest ever. And I was wondering why. It has 365 days, 12 months, so what was different in this year? And what I really realized for myself was that even though it was a really good year, a lot of great things happened, a lot of goals were reached, a lot of accomplishments were made, but something was missing. And I believe what was missing is exactly that, what I want to address with my 5 ways or my 5 New Year's resolutions that I want to share with you today. Now, we all do make New Year's resolutions, right? At least most of us try, whether it's about losing weight or going more often to the gym or maybe just spending less money and saving more. But most people are dropping their New Year's resolutions within a short amount of time, usually within 2 or 3 months. Why? Well, is it really that they were just not important enough? Or is it maybe that the energy around those New Year's resolutions is somehow not very motivating? Because most New Year's resolutions are about the shoulds. I should be thinner. I have to be more fit. I should have more for my retirement. So it's ultimately just one other item on the to-do list. And it's not necessarily something that brings you immediate joy or a sense of purpose. And so since our lives are already super busy and usually cram-packed with obligations, those New Year's resolutions, which are often about what we think we should change about ourselves, just fall off. And we focus on that, what we usually do, work or family or things that we just have been doing as, dutiful beings, but we are not necessarily improving. So my New Year's resolution was a New Year's resolution that was more about making this year, 2017, longer, making it more a year where I feel happier, where I feel more alive, where I feel more engaged. Because as I said, reality is relative. And what I found is that what was missing in this good year, the 2016 years, where on surface, everything seemed to have been, just perfectly fine or actually quite successful. What was missing was that feeling of being present. What was missing was that feeling of being in it every day. It was more a year where I felt I was going through the motions, was going from one goal to the next, was going from one accomplishment that I thought I had to reach to the next, and I wasn't really fully enjoying it. I wasn't really fully in it. And I think this is something that makes you ultimately lose a lot of precious, valuable time that otherwise we could benefit from. And maybe you have felt similarly. Maybe you have been also at the end of the year looking back at 2016 and wondering, where did the time go? What happened? Often people say that's a sign of aging, that time accelerates and you just feel like, the months are passing by like weeks or days. But why? Why do we have to go into that? Why couldn't we just slow down time, slow down our experience, and learn to be more, not only mindful, but also be more proactively engaged on how we're going to embrace and enjoy our life? And so since, 4 days, I have started this 5-part process, these 5 ways on being more engaged, being more happy, being more alive in 2017. And that's been very interesting. I do actually feel that life is a little bit more rich. and a little bit more slow in a positive way. And I believe you can also benefit from some of those tools and some of those ways that I want to share with you. Now, to start with, in the morning, what I do is to connect my mind, my emotions, my body, and my essence, my spirit. That's what we could call the source of our love, of our ability to have compassion, of our ability to have maybe even intuition, just that intangible that goes beyond just the emotions that is within us. I believe there is an eternal and infinite source within. Some call it the soul, some call it the signature energy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you believe in it. It just can give you a nice point of focus to start this process. Now, connecting these aspects of yourself, what I found is it lets you enter the day not just from your head, which we spend way too much time in anyhow, but it lets you enter the day more as a whole being. You're present with your body, you're present with your emotions, you're present with your heart, you're present with your thoughts, and all of this is a whole package. And what it does for you is a few things. One is I feel that my experience during the day is more rich because I do feel that I can consult with my body, for example, the sensations in my body or the senses, smell, sound, taste, much more closely because I have myself already anchored in to my physical form at the beginning of the day. I also use my emotions more as a guidance system and do things more that feel good and not just that maybe sound good or are rationally sound, but really things that my emotions pull me forward towards. And I feel I'm more connected to the bigger picture, which is maybe what connection to the essence does for you, that you see more a wider perspective and you don't feel so locked in to the minutia of the things that are right in front of you. I will, at the end of our show today, guide you through a little process that can also help you to connect all those aspects together and really enter the day in that more whole and complete way. And from that place, you can then also make different decisions because everything else we talk about will build upon that connection of mind, body, emotion, and spirit. So when we come back, we'll talk about these other ways and other tools to be happier, more alive, and more fulfilled in 2017. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What is a brilliant culture? And how do we create them? Why are they important? Claudette Rowley has created a breakthrough 5-step process to help you design a culture that is authentic, innovative, and successful. Learn how to create change with Cultural Brilliance Radio, the DNA of organizational excellence, and Claudette Rowley. To learn more or work with Claudette, visit ClaudetteRowley.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune in to Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedmann Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you're ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com.
Order your copy of Dr. Friedemann Schaub's The Fear and Anxiety Solution today. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com for more information.
Welcome back to Empowerment Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Friedmann. If you want to find out more about my work, my book, my video seminars, CD series, go to thefearandanxietysolution.com, thefearandanxietysolution.com, and you can find a lot of information on what you can do to feel more empowered, to build a stronger foundation of confidence and inner peace, to identify the subconscious root causes of your challenges, fear, anxiety, depression, and how to resolve them. I think we all have much more potential inside of us than we are giving ourselves credit or that we have been really shown. And so the work I'm offering is helping people to resolve the blocks that prevent them from really accessing what they're all about, whether it's their purpose, their potential, or just their ability to be happy and alive. I have also a YouTube channel that you can find most of the Empowerment Radio shows on as videos, and you can find also other seminars and interviews on there if you're interested in finding out more about how to work with the subconscious mind, what is a subconscious mind, and why is it such an important part on that journey to feel more happy and more fulfilled. Now, if you have any questions during the show, you can either type into the chat box on Transformation Talk Radio, or you can call 888-418-6890. I repeat, 888-418-6890. Any questions about New Year's resolutions, how to be happier, any comments? Maybe you have suggestions yourself. We would love to hear from you. Now, I talked at the beginning about the 5 steps or the 5 resolutions. Ultimately, it's one resolution that has 5 steps to get there. Now, the first one, we'll get more into it later, which is about connecting mind, body, spirit, emotions. The second one is to, I call it talk back to the voice in your head. You can also call it become your own inner mentor. But either way, one of the biggest distraction factors in our lives is that little voice inside of our head that comes in different tunes and different flavors. Can be the voice that talks you always out of things. Oh, it's not possible. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, it's going to be hard. Why even try? Or that voice that judges you. Oh, you gained weight during the holidays. Oh, this is probably something that, you're going to get judged for. Oh, you cannot really say this to your colleague. They will not like you for that. Or that voice that judges others and basically finds always a fault in everyone else. It can, as I said, come in different flavors, but it can really take you out of the present moment. Because that voice is relentless. The more you're trying to ignore the voice, the stronger it gets. And sometimes it doesn't stop until you finally do what the voice wants you to do. This is classic when you are dealing with self-sabotaging behavior. You have great intentions, but then there is this little seductive voice that says, wouldn't it be nice to go to the refrigerator and eat something healthy? What about a yogurt or some carrots? And, you should really just rest a little bit. You had such a hard time during the holidays. Why don't you put your feet up and just watch a little TV just for 10 minutes? And lo and behold, everything that you set out to do didn't really happen. Now, as I said, we either ignore that voice, which doesn't really help, or we are giving into this voice, which doesn't really help either, because often this voice does make us avoid things or procrastinate around things or go into a more self-defensive, protective mindset. So what about talking to this voice? What about speaking back? What about realizing that this voice has a source where it comes from? It's not a little speaker that's implanted in your brain. There is actually something deeper inside that voice takes its information on, takes its beliefs from. Something that programmed the mindset of that little voice or those different voices to see the world and see you the way it does. And often when you listen to the voice, you know the themes repeat themselves. They can be themes about life is hard, you cannot really trust others, oh, you're not really good enough, or you don't really fit in, or you cannot really have what you want. All of those kind of beliefs, things that you just know have an origin, mostly somewhere in your childhood. Now, rather than saying, oh, okay, it comes from the past, it comes from my parents, it must be right, you can actually step up and say, well, reality is relative. That means I can actually create my own mind around it. I can create my own laws around it. I can actually decide how I want to see certain things. I had a client who told me that she has a little voice that always talks her out of going to the pool. And she loves swimming. It's a wonderful feeling. But this voice says, well, you need to lose a couple of pounds because otherwise you're going to be too self-conscious. Well, since the pounds don't go, she doesn't go to the pool. And that means she doesn't swim. And that means she denies herself that what she really wants, which is to be in the water, just because of some strangers that she may never see again may have an opinion about her extra pounds, which most likely they don't have anyhow. So being the inner mentor in this case meant for her just to introduce to this voice the idea that it doesn't really matter what other people are thinking. It's much more important what I'm thinking about myself. And I'm fine with how I look. I'm fine with these extra pounds, and the likelihood of shedding those extra pounds is much higher when I'm going to the pool than when I'm not going to the pool. So basically, she, as this inner mentor, was able to turn this voice on its head and help it to realize that her reality is not about others, but it's more about herself. And there may be other themes that you can discuss with this inner voice and help that inner voice to let go of some of those limiting beliefs. Let's say you have that voice that always finds faults and flaws in others, but you don't really believe that judgment is the way to live or the way to go. So what if you introduce to that voice acceptance? What if you are talking about compassion? What if you're helping that inner voice to look for the good things in other people and not just hold on to the bad things? What happens when you're talking back, when you have an inner dialogue, is not that you become crazy and that you feel like, oh my God, people are going to lock me up now. No, what happens is that you're going to feel so much more at ease and so much more at peace with yourself because you are no longer feeling distracted by beliefs of the past. You're no longer feeling pulled out of your center because there is such a disturbing little voice inside of you that tries to get you off track. You're feeling in that moment that you are setting course, that you are creating your own map of your life, and that you are walking on your own path. And that's one of the most empowering and the most fulfilling ways of going through life. So be your inner mentor, make up your own rules, make up your own laws, just like you would mentor a child. Mentor this inner voice and see what's going to happen. Now, another way to be more alive and more engaged is to collect joy points. Now, joy points are something that I find are very important in life. And in the past, I made those joy points all about big things. You know, the next vacation, or maybe a house remodeling or renovation, or something that just felt like big to look forward to. And for months and months, I could just imagine it and look really ahead of it and could just feel how good it's going to feel to be there, and all nice and good. We all need to have something to look forward to. The problem is just it totally gets you out of the present moment, and it makes you basically see life and the world in a very black and white way. So there is a time when you can have all this wonderful firework of whatever you're looking forward to, these 2 weeks of vacations or this great party that you're organizing. And then there are the other times, the longer times, the stretches in between that seem to be rather, gray and meaningless because there is no joy in it. There is nothing you really look forward to. And that is a waste of time. And that was one reason why 2016 was somehow not as alive, or I didn't feel as in it, because I didn't have those joy points. So now I have joy points. That means every day after my centering exercise, I'm looking already forward to little things that will happen during the day. Some of the things can be pleasant surprises that I'm just open to experience. Other things I know. I'm looking forward to letting our horses out in the prairie because it's always such a wonderful thing to see them running and going crazy. I'm looking forward to just petting the cat. I'm looking forward to maybe having a nice meal or a glass of wine. And I just look forward to the things that are ordinary, that in the past I completely took for granted and therefore never really savored. Because it's those little joy moments that really make a big difference. And it's those joy moments that give life to a day and that make a day memorable. I remember when I was 14 years old, I had a joy moment. I was laying in the grass somewhere in the south of France. I was looking up to the tree and I saw all these beautiful leaves glistening in the sunlight. And I felt so content and so happy that I told myself, I want to remember this moment for the rest of my life. Well, it had to do also with the fact that two beautiful girls were laying next to me, and it felt really good to be like in the middle of that attention. But either way, all these years later, I still remember that moment. It was not a very meaningful one in the great scheme of things, but it was one that I completely savored and enjoyed. And so it shows you, doesn't have to be grandiose or complicated to have meaning and long-lasting effects in your life. When we'll come back, we will talk more about how to be happier and more alive in 2017. So just stay tuned.
Tune in to Dynamics of Diversity Radio, scripting the new narrative for immigration with leading experts Kripa Upadhyaya and Steve Tanijo on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This show will remove the noise that often accompanies discussions on this topic and share a new perspective on the dynamics of immigration and diversity, ever reminding us that together we are all at the core of innovation, excellence, and positive change. Visit OrbitLawPLLC.com for upcoming topics.
You, yes you, can be the highest version of yourself.
Wellness coach and natural beauty expert Dr. Agnes Frenkel is on a mission to help you play the game of your life. Win in vibrancy, health, and beauty. Because you deserve it. Dr. Agnes goes beyond the limits in her personal coaching sessions to revolutionize health and wellness. Now is the time to unleash your true power. For more information, visit dragnesfrenkel.com.
Beyond being this amazing neurologist, inventor, author, Dr. Dan Cohen has been called to look at technology and look at personal and spiritual development and merge these together. His technology uses the healing and psychospiritual effects of synchronized sounds, vibrations, electromagnetic fields, and how that interacts with us in our nervous system in what we're calling the Soltec chair.
The Soltec Lounge induces profound levels of relaxation that transition over time into deep meditative states. The synchronized sound, vibration, and magnetic field induce these states. The subject doesn't have to work at it.
To learn more, go to soltecwellbeing.com. That's SOLTEC Wellbeing.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub for Empowerment Radio and learn breakthrough solutions to switch out of survival mode and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in the first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific to Empowerment Radio with host Dr. Friedemann Schaub on Transformation Talk Radio. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Leslie Fontaine, and my show is Sheer Alchemy on TransformationTalkRadio.com. When we're bogged down with our emotions, the hardships that plague us in our relationships, at work, our finances, we literally can't see the higher plane where we could be operating from. Tune in to Leslie Fontaine, Sheer Alchemy on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Welcome back to Empowerment Radio. We are talking about how to be happier, how to be more alive in 2017. And one of my intentions is also to be more in the mode of paying forward. And this is why I would like to offer a little raffle every time when we do the Empowerment Radio Show. And so if you email at info@thefearandanxietysolution.com, that's info at thefearandanxietysolution.com, and simply write down radio show or empowerment radio in the subject line, you will be automatically put into a raffle that will give you for each show the chance to win one of those self-hypnosis CDs, either Be You, Be Free, or Be Well. And at the end of the month, you will automatically put into a raffle to win potentially a video seminar, 6 sessions on demand that is priced for $350, and you can have it for free if you email at info@thefearandanxietysolution.com, and will be put into the raffle, and hopefully you will win. So that could make you already happier and more alive in 2017. Now, we talked about collecting joy points and talking back to that inner voice and claiming the role of being the mentor for yourself, which I think is just a really important and empowering way of communicating with your subconscious mind, because ultimately it is your subconscious trying to communicate with you. So why shouldn't we talk back? Now, another step along the way of greater aliveness and happiness is to switching out of this just get it over it mood. Just get it over with and switch into make the most out of it. Now, it sounds a little abstract. Now, let me get more clear. Many times during the day, you just slog through it, whether it's going to, through the traffic, on your commute to work, when you are in the gym on the treadmill, when you're sitting, maybe with colleagues at lunch, whatever it is, how often do you just want to get it over with? Just know, okay, another 3 hours that I just have to sit here, or another 45 minutes, I have to endure this. Maybe you become numb and feel nothing. Just know I'm just going to, watch the time passing by and looking forward to being it done. But how much time do we actually kill this way? The other day when I was in Florida, apparently Florida was very rich for me, I was running, and I love to run. But on that day, I was actually running, thinking I'm looking forward to have it done. I was really looking forward to have that run because I knew how far it's going to go and so on, to have it over with. And it occurred to me that I'm missing out on so much what actually happened during the run because I already thought about the next thing and I wasn't really present with where I was. And so I stopped myself. I kept on running, but I stopped myself from getting it over with and opened my mind to making the best out of it. And what I saw were birds that I hadn't seen before that were beautiful, like cranes and ibises. I took in the smell. I just enjoyed the warmth and the sunshine. I greeted the nice people that I found incredibly friendly there. There was just a lot of wonderful little encounters that I would have completely missed out on if I would have just thought, let's just get it over with. And I invite you just to really shift your attitude and think about the daily things and if you are really fully engaging into them. And whenever I left a job, the last day at work, I told myself, okay, now I need to really savor it. I need to soak it in. I need to enjoy the conversations with my colleagues. And I need to look at this place, as I can remember every detail of it. And, it's sad because why did I wait for the last day to make and get the most out of it? So when you next time sit in traffic and you just get annoyed or you go into autopilot and you're not really feeling present, just ask yourself, what else can you do to get the most out of it? Is it possible that there would be a good time to breathe and just do a little centering exercise? Or is it good for you there to start looking for something that's uplifting on the radio or listening to a book on tape or listening to empowerment radio or transformation talk radio? Or when you are maybe sitting with your parents at Sunday dinner and you just feel like, can't wait to go home and watch Sunday Night Football, maybe that is a moment to look at your parents and really realize, well, they will not be there forever. Chances are they will leave before me. So let's just slow down and let's have a deeper conversation, or let's just talk about their past. And maybe there is some wisdom that they can share with me that really right now would be pertinent for me. Just allow yourself to use every day and every moment as an opportunity to make the most out of it. It can be simple things. It doesn't have to be necessarily earth-shattering, but things that you just know you have done your best. You haven't just gone through the motions, you have been engaged. Maybe this is also about just being at work in a different mindset, in a different attitude, being more open, more helpful, having maybe more initiative, feeling more creative, having more of a voice. Just allow yourself to get more out of life and more of the things that you take for granted or that you just feel like are somehow mundane than you have in the past. And that brings me to the next point, which is allow every day to be a day where you explore, where you stretch, and where you discover a little bit more about yourself. That is really fun because I believe in life we are here for one specific reason, which is ultimately to discover who we really are, to live and share our authentic selves. And so when we are staying in a little box, in a comfort zone, often we don't even maneuver ourselves into these zones. We feel like, well, the outer circumstances force us to be there. When we are in a place like that, we don't really grow, we don't really discover, and we certainly don't expand. So allow yourself every day to have your mind more open, to just do something a little bit different, to make yourself, a little bit more aware of things that you don't know about yourself. I mean, can be bigger. I, for example, thought that Germans cannot dance. They can march, but they can't dance. So I signed up for a salsa course. Well, I found out on some level it's true. I can't really dance very well, but it was a lot of fun. And it was great. And I enjoyed just this interaction with the dancing, and I certainly grew from the experience. But again, it can be also things that you do just with a little twist on your day-to-day work, on your day-to-day life. Maybe there is this sense of, well, I'm always having the same thing at lunch, and you never really try something else. But maybe there is a Korean place next door, and you want to just try out what they have to offer. Or maybe you always go on the same route to work, and you want to just find out something else. You want to take the train, or you want to walk, or take the bike. It's about really just being curious about what else is there about life, and what else is about you as you're engaging with life. A client told me that she decided that she likes to go every week to a different museum. Now, she lives in New York, so it's kind of easy. There are many, many museums, but she picks the small ones, little ones, the obscure ones, like a museum of Ukrainian textile. Well, who comes up with that idea? But there exists Ukrainian Textile Museum, or a museum that has those textiles, and she went and she had a blast, and it was very interesting, and it certainly enriched her and opened her mind. So you can see it is not just about going only introspective when it's about self-discovery. It is also about our engagement with life and with things that are outside of us, very different, cultural things, circumstances, that then in that engagement make us discover more about ourselves. When we come back, we will talk more about this. And also, I will guide you through this centering exercise I talked about at the beginning, that is connecting mind, body, spirit, and emotions. Stay tuned.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Tune in to Mainstream Metaphysics Radio to harness your connection with the universe to effect change for optimal success and happiness. Named one of the country's top psychics, Eve now brings her insights and gifts to this weekly hit call-in show, joined by visionaries, leaders, and gifted others, but mostly you. Jot it down, Thursdays, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Artie Hoffman is the hottest psychic with the warmest heart and the host of the hit show Angels and Answers. A renowned psychic, medium, spiritual life coach, and an entertaining motivational speaker, Artie has helped over 15,000 people with his amazing intuitive gifts, his passion, and his humor. Call 877-ANGEL-02 to schedule a personal reading or to have your own psychic Artie party. That's 877-ANGEL-02. And visit artiehoffman.com and Angels and Answers on Facebook.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedmann Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you are ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com.
Order your copy of Dr. Friedemann Schaub's The Fear and Anxiety Solution today. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com for more information.
Welcome back to Empowerment Radio. We have been talking about how to be happier and how to be more alive in 2017. And I mentioned before, if you want to go and enter into the raffle, that will give you a chance to win either a CD, a self-hypnosis CD that you can look at thefearandanxietysolution.com, or also the on-demand video seminar that I have been offering. Just send an email at info@thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's again, info@thefearandanxietysolution.com. So to reiterate, so far, what we have to make 2017 happier and you feeling more alive within it. We have talked about the joy points. We have talked about finding a way to be the inner mentor and talking back to that little voice inside of you that may get you out of the present moment. We talked about that you need to really just have also an attitude of getting the most out of it and getting out of this autopilot thinking or just getting it over with thinking. And then lastly, we talked about how to stretch and discover a little bit more about yourself every day. But as I said at the beginning, it all starts with centering and connecting mind, body, heart, and spirit together. So I would like you just to go on a little guided meditation as you can close your eyes and allow yourself to get comfortable. Take a nice breath in and exhale. And then turn your attention inside and visualize your essence, your soul, that signature infinite energy of who you are, as a beautiful bright light at the core of your being. And just tune into that light. Notice a profound sense of peace and calmness emanating from within. Just feel that this is a beautiful reference point for you, a place where you can always go back to and find stability and groundedness in. And after a minute or so, you can shift your focus towards the layer of your feelings. Just imagining that you can observe your feelings neutrally, without judgment. Just as if you would observe your body, you're scanning across your feelings and noticing whether you detect maybe sadness, worry, or frustration. Maybe you feel curious, excited, or peaceful. Just notice the emotional state in which you start out the day. Then scan across your body and become aware of the subtle messages it may share with you. Are you perceiving tension, heaviness, or a sense of emptiness in a certain area? What about your taste and your smell and maybe the temperature of your skin? Just as a neutral observer, once again, connect to your body. And then notice the thoughts, the layer of your mental state, your mental body, the thoughts that seem to bubble up from the depths of your mind. What is their theme? And where do they want to carry you? And then you bring your focus back inside to that inner light. And this time, breathe into this light and let it gently in your mind expand and become wider and brighter until it encompasses your entire being and all the parts of who you are. Feeling this light of your essence infusing the layer of your emotions, the layer of your physical body, the layer of your thoughts, until you feel that all of you is not only connected, but also filled with that calm, peaceful energy that you felt emanating from within. And then to end this simple centering, reconnecting exercise, vow for this day to embrace all these aspects of you, to appreciate them, to embrace their gifts and honor their needs. Vow to listen to the guidance of your essence, that inspiration, that intuition. Vow to listen to your emotions and respond caringly and kindly to their messages. Vow to take care of the needs and the desires of your body. Vow to let your mind have a place to express itself, but also a place to land on and feel calm, relaxed, and peaceful. And then you can take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, gently open your eyes. Welcome back. Well, this is a short version. You can, of course, make all of those little steps of the centering exercise longer, and just allow yourself also to be creative with it, just on what that light inside may look like, how you want to respond to your emotions and your thoughts, how you want to commit to the needs of your body. These are all things you can just expand on and just explore what all these aspects of yourself need. But every point that we talked about, all the steps along the way, if you commit to them, not only for a few weeks, but really every day, if you change your mind a little bit, if you tweak your perception on yourself and the day-to-day life you're in and the world you're in, just a little bit more, you will feel more empowered, fulfilled, happier, and certainly more alive. And my intention is that this year will feel like a long year in a good way, a very memorable one that I have really soaked in and embraced with all of me, so that in a year from now we can talk about these experiences and maybe find out other things that we can add on to make this 2018 even more fulfilling, happier, and alive. Well, in 2 weeks, we will have a very special guest, Paul Selig, coming to the show. I'm very excited to talk about his work. He is a channeler. He has written many books, and we'll talk about what his passion, his purpose, and his mission is. So tune in again in 2 weeks. Until then, enjoy your day. Be mindful with how you approach it. Be present with yourself, and make an effort, make an intention every day to be alive. Goodbye.
You've been listening to Empowerment Radio with Dr. Friedemann Schaub. Join Dr. Friedemann the first and third Wednesday each month at 11 a.m. Pacific as he addresses some of the most prevailing challenges of our daily lives. Discover how you can use the power of your mind to overcome stress, anxiety, and overwhelm and create a solid foundation of confidence and self-esteem. Learn cutting-edge tools so that you can approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. To learn more about what Dr. Schaub can do for you, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com.